America, the world's worst polluter. President Bush continues to resist calls for mandatory cuts in greenhouse gases. But here's a newer face to his nation. Not coal miners, but climate change protesters. They're trying to block new coal-fired power stations in the president's home state, Texas.
Thank you.
Concern about the climate is voiced much more often in America nowadays, and it's driving a shift in political mood.
We are either at or approaching a tipping point on this issue. There's been a steady accumulation of science pointing out that climate change is real and happening. That's been reported in the press, and people are believing it. You've seen action by a number of states, led by Governor Schwarzenegger in California. You've had the Al Gore movie. You've had a growing number of corporate leaders recognizing the issue and calling on government to adopt mandatory measures to limit U.S. emissions.
Today, a meeting in the United States Senate is witness to that shift in attitude. Here's a platoon of leading American politicians from both parties, meeting lawmakers from Europe, Japan, China and India. Together, they're striving to forge a new global deal to protect the climate.
I think we will enact some types of mandatory limits on greenhouse gas emissions, similar to what Europe has done with regard to much of the economy there. And the question is how do we structure that, and how aggressive are the targets that we identify for emission reductions.
As the global politicians arrived last night, the heavens opened and Washington was blanketed in snow. The talks they're having today will help determine whether their grandchildren's children ever experience conditions like this. Roger Harrabin, BBC News, Washington.